Hello everybody, Gbengaolatunji here. Emotional intelligence. It has been said and it has been proven that somebody with higher emotional intelligence will beat hands down anytime, any day, somebody with higher intelligent quotient. Why? The reason being that emotional intelligence helps us to relate with people very well, work together with people, and we can only succeed among people. This is a personal recording that I made of a training I participated some years back, and I revisited it over and over again, and it has helped me. And I'm making it available to you with the hope that it's going to help you too. And I'm very sure it's going to make a permanent impact positively in your life. But before we go, please don't forget to subscribe to the channel and like the video.
For higher performance, you have to have an achievement orientation. What do you want to achieve before the end of this year? What do you want to achieve? In this room. And you have written it out. If you want. Have you registered? Yes. How would you start a professional exam? I have to, I'm still trying to decide which one. Okay. One. Start a business. It would affect the one you're doing. Have to answer that question. Write 6 months goals. Write it in your book. My next 6 months goals. I know the habits and lifestyles. Next 6 months goal. I did that. You're tired. But honestly, don't think you're playing games. It is what you write that you can run with. It is what you write that you can run with. And these are opportunities for you to just even articulate it. 6 months. You see, achievement orientation means you are on the go constantly. Constantly. When you have an achievement orientation, you radiate. There's something about you that people see that this one is going somewhere. Because there's speech and there are actions. I've never had so much problem with the screen or those things. Right? Achievement orientation. Right? Okay? Adaptability. How adaptable are you? If they take you from here and give you some other jobs, are you able to adapt very quickly? Or are you rotting slowly? Pardon my phrase. Some of you have been here 6, 7 years doing the same thing. 8, 9, 10. Almost 10. Almost 10. Same job. Promotion has come in. Because if you do 5 years and the promotion has not come in, you are stagnating. Let me say that again. Yes, no, I'll say it.
It's very good, yeah.
Well, see,
promotion can be vertical or horizontal.
Yes, I understand all that. The thing about what I want you to hear me talk about when we're talking about achievement orientation is that what have you drawn up for yourself? Whether you meet it where you are or not, what have you drawn up for yourself? Because in life, it's not what people will not give you what you want. Sometimes you have to go and get what you getting on. I'm not saying resign, but I'm asking you the question, what have you set to achieve? Because some of you now have left the university 12, 13 years. Are you where you should be career-wise? It's your question. I'm not saying resign, that's not what I'm saying. But at the end of the day, before you say Jack Robinson, you have been out for 20 years. What do you have to show for it? And that is what we're talking about, achievement orientation. I'm not saying, don't go and resign and then I mix me up and say, what did you tell my people? That's not what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about that. But I'm asking myself that if you have achievement orientation, every 6 months, you are actually pushing yourself. That I'm going to achieve this and I'm going to tick it off. You are pushing yourself, and that is that's where I am. See, that is self-management. And you need to do that. Work-wise, and let me tell you this, work and life is two sides of the coin. You do your work well, the people at home are enjoying. That's it. At this stage, it's work that determines the other things. You get more money, you live in a better place, you drive better car, your children go to better schools. That's it. So there's a balance. How have you defined it? And you need to define it. You need to define it. I find that people go. I started reading, for the last 5 years, I've been reading autobiographies of successful people. They are driven. Would you use the word driven for yourself? Are you driven? And then it talks about emotional self-control. Emotional self-control means that you have to be bothered, but you need to be bothered. That's self-management. Who cares? Whatever happens, happens. You know, I hear people say, when it comes to performance management, I hear people say, whether I do the work or I don't do the work, they're only going to give me 2%, so why should I bother? Let me tell you the difference. Let me tell you the difference from an HR perspective. The difference is that the person that gets 2%, you will never catch up with that person. Because it affects housing, it affects transport, and it affects basic salary. So if somebody gets 4% and the other person gets 2%, it has become two parallel lines that will never meet. And that's why you have to push yourself through. That's the difference. And so I say to people, the least you can do for yourself is push yourself to the limit that you can go to. How many of you are working at the limit you need to go to in this place? Truthfully. How many? That you are actually operating at the level that you know you should operate. More than half of you are operating at 50%. And that's why I want to challenge you. I really want to challenge you. That you have nothing to lose when you give it your all. Absolutely nothing to lose. Nothing. You go away patting your shoulders and you have done the best you can do. And nobody can take that from you. And that is self-management. It's not just that I feel bad today and I can judge myself not feeling bad. If you feel bad, it's even good sometimes to feel bad. Because you have to ask yourself, why am I feeling bad? Which maybe you came out of your house and you were broke. And exactly, the month has not ended. How would you replace that shoe? And you start thinking, how do I broaden myself? How am I a product that any company will pick up? That's what it's all about. When we talk about relationship management, inspirational leadership. Inspirational leadership. What is inspiring about new people? Can anybody look at you and say, I look at some people and I say to myself, yes, they've got what it takes. Some people have got to where they've got to by virtue of who they do. But it never lasts. You see some people now, Fashola has gone. Look said, I'm okay. There are some people who still going to be consistent. It doesn't matter who comes in or who goes, because they have what? The Lagos State needs them. And there are some people who we would have forgotten about them. You know the shiny shoes that they used to wear now? They will be now cluttered with dirt. Because that dispensation has gone and some people never recover. But the first person is that whoever comes, there's a consistent behavior. It doesn't matter physically. So the question is, what is it? Think about a person who has inspired you. What is it about that person that you want to emulate? Think about one person that has inspired you. One person. And then begin to look at that person, because at this stage of your life and your career, you must be inspiring others. Who is less than 25 here? Nobody. So you should be mentors to some people now already. How many people are we mentoring? Because this day and age, nobody would agree you to mentor them if they don't see progress in their life. And you know these young ones, even they want to even be driving, they're so savvy that it's a different generation. One person that is inspiring, and it doesn't necessarily have to be something you know. It doesn't have to be. That's inspirational. And when you inspire, you see, the person that inspires has a motivation, a fire that is burning within, that nobody can quench that fire. And anybody that comes in contact with that person takes that motivation and that inspiration. That's what it is. Teamwork. Are you working well within your team? In a team, you cannot afford to have bad feelings, or I don't like this person, or that person gets on my nerves. People have everything. Teamwork. Even with your spouses at home, are you a team? Most people don't use their wife as next of kin. Wife don't use husband as next of kin. They'll use mother as next of kin for somebody who is married. Are they praying to go before the mother goes? Teamwork. The moment you are in a marriage, you become a team. Can you see how these things cross over? Somebody died in one of the companies I work for, and it was his brother that he has 2 kids. He has 2 kids and a wife. And I looked at his next of kin, it was his brother. I said, what is this? The brothers were in the hospital before his life to start asking me for his entitlement. I'm giving you real life stories. Before the guy died, I was the one that picked up the guy from the hospital, took him to Premier. In the hospital, the brother was asking, what is it? They had taken his car. The car that he had 600,000 loan. So I said, how is this man? How am I going to pay this man this loan? How am I going to pay this guy? Because I know it is the end of those children in that life. So to pay man, I went to one player and said, who is next of kin? Or this. I know there's no precedence for this. But I'll give you the third. I will fix 2 thirds for these children. Teamwork. Let me say something about emotional intelligence. It cuts across wherever you are as a person. In the mosque, in the church, at home, in the workplace. It's not that, I love person is to be different at home. How it is in the workplace? No way. When you are high on the emotional emotional intelligence, your character is the same across every sphere that you find yourself. Teamwork. You work as a team for wages. You work as a team, either finance or sales, marketing, customer service. Are you part of that team that keeps it together, or are you a weak link? Because the strength of a chain lies in the weakest link. Where are you? Because that's what emotional intelligence is all about. Let's forget theory, but let's say to ourselves, how do we practicalize all these things? Are you a coach and a mentor? For everybody in this room, you will remember one person that where you are today was as a result of their input. There's nobody. I cannot say, but for this person, I probably will not be where I am. Are you that person for other people? Sometimes your siblings. Are you that person that inspires, that they see in you something to aspire for? Influence. 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 There's a lot of things that happen that, you begin to say to yourself, what does this happen? When a professor opens their mouth and starts talking rubbish because of money. A professor. Because of money. Can that person be great? When influence is about, somebody says something, and then I say, are you talking about that person? No, forget it. Forget it. In some places, because the pipeline goes across their back, they are all using that petrol. They are siphoning it to put the petrol in their cars. They don't go to petrol stations anymore. They put the petrol inside their cars. And then they will, and you have meetings, they'll be like this. They'll be like this. 50 meters for 1,200, 1,300. I'm thinking they are smart. And they're buying it. People don't go to petrol stations anymore. They just say they can't carry this thing. Go to where you get it. Then the fire came. Unfortunately, the one that he consumed, they're not sure to shoot. Which is the truth, as Peter is and as it is. We are asking influence. Let me tell you, sometimes people have not gone through the heights they could have easily gone through because they have asked their house behind their driver, their security, who is this person? Or you don't know who knows you better. Driver, house girl, security, they can finish you. I know at a particular time they were choosing commissioners, and that is what they did. That's what they did. They called people close who were working for them. That's what type of person she was. And that was the process of elimination that they used to choose some commissioners over some others. Facts. I'm not going to stand here and give you things that are not factual. And so that's why you have to ask yourself, influence. Influence is not just by the language we speak. We can all speak good English, and we can use the right words, but it's your actions that speak louder. There's an adage. It says your actions speak louder. I cannot hear what you're saying. And I love that phrase. And that's what you have to think about. And when it comes to social awareness, everything, feel for your organization. Let me say this to you people. Feel for this organization. The opposite of not having a job is not palatable. Not getting a salary every month is not palatable. Let me say that to you. You see the people that when you go to the bank, when they pay your salary, they say, hey, hello sir. You come and they know you don't have a job. They don't call you sir again. You come in like this, they do it as like this, as if they don't even know this bank. But when you are getting salary and you go in, they recognize you. We're in a tough climate. Nigeria is a tough climate as it is. So any employer that is paying salary regularly, I need to say kudos to them. I've done jobs that they have not paid me for more than 4-5 months. 4-5 months. When you even bring them now, they don't even answer phone call. I need to say this to you because, you know, I'm sure there's nobody in this room that doesn't want to be an employer. There's nobody in this room that doesn't want to be an employer. Let me tell you this. You see, you look forward to the end of the month very quickly. An employer, before he sees Jack Robinson by the 10th of the month, is already looking for the next salary. You know, when I was an employee, I used to like getting the money. Hey, very soon it's 24. When it was the other way, you would be praying that that's what you got to do. It does not become very soon. I'm being real. I'm being real. 24th, and 24th is not the day that is in your head as an employer, as something that pays. It's the 10th. Because you ask yourself, is there enough money to pay this? So what we are saying is that emotional intelligence, acknowledge, just acknowledge that for now, I'm grateful for this money that is coming in regularly. That's emotional intelligence. And it says organizational awareness. Key into the organization, in as much as what you have right now. Key into it. Don't let it be a distant thing. Key in. You know, try, just know what is going on. There's nothing in the last of you. I don't know what they do. You don't manage it. Whenever they finish telling me what they want to do, they just come and tell me what's my own. As long as my own salary is going on. It's not big deal. But you have to ask yourself that if you are doing that for 5-10 years, it becomes part of you. So there's no growth. Growth comes from identifying with your employer and doing something different. Organizational awareness. And then you have the emotional awareness. When you get your slides, I want you to look at this slide again and just do a self-assessment on it. When you get this slide, which you get, I want you to just look at it again and do a self-assessment on it. We are going to do this, but I'd like you to do this after lunch. So let's just quickly move on. We've done this. So, right. Your self-awareness. I want you to do a quick exercise. You know SWOT makes strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. And I want you to look at your threats. Because you have threats. If you were asked to ask me, and I only do that from time to time, one of my own threats is that I'm getting older, I may not be able to stand 8 hours as regularly as I do. It's a threat. What else can you do to help to mitigate that? There's going to come a time, you are all seated down while I'm standing, and this is how we stand. So by the time you don't 4 days now, I know my body tells me that you have done 4 days. That's a threat to me. That age will cause you not to be able to do what you need to do. Another threat is there's lots of companies too that are springing up that are in competition with yourself. I don't know which one I was reading again. I said, you see all these people are coming from India. And all the things they see in England, all of them are replicating it here. And you don't know the ideas. You said you want to set up a business. You have a business. I don't know what's in your mind. It's only when it's this is the idea I have. What are your threats? The threat is in this stupid area is gaining ground. It is losing ground against dollar. I even guess this is the collect dollars. Dollars. They said there's some supermarket, they write dollar on it. I've never entered that supermarket. They said dollar sign on something you want to buy in the supermarket in Nigeria. They charge dollars. Yes, I was told. You carry dollars in Nigeria.
We will not refuse to collect naira, but if you are willing to pay us dollars, why not? Why not?
Why not if not? Most of our multinationals, yes. The threat I was trying to say, I was even talking about supermarkets because you have to, but personally, I was paid, because most of my time I did visa on another, they carry dollars. So what am I doing? Keep my mouth shut. I did it for her. I was ranting. She said, just let me pay the bill. Let me don't go. Because I don't get visa, so I don't even understand dollars. Why would we, and if the rates that we're talking about, you know, I don't know, how much is it?
370. 370. As of last time, as of Friday, it was 370.
No, they changed money for this. You know that's a threat. If your income is coming in dollars, because it is got to a stage, and I don't know if you have noticed it, a lot of fake products have entered again this market. Oh my God! I bought from Leaf. As I opened it, I said, I was not to General Hospital. I bought caps. It was as if they poured one washing up liquid. The thing was not bubbling. I said, it's not going to give you. And that is what happens when dollars. Because people have been used to certain things. So another market goes to and make those things. And then somebody used Listerine. Her mouth was blistered for 4 months. Listerine. You may say it doesn't concern us, but it does. That is the impact of some of these things. You know, we talk about person. Some of you will have done in person. This is a key issue that is affecting a lot of us. And it's beyond our control. So, when you are doing your SWOT analysis, which I want you to do, ask yourself, what is my strength? And you should at this stage know what your strength is. And I want you to be objective. Nobody's going to collect these things from you. But you have to be objective in being able to say, what are my strengths? What are my weaknesses? As we speak, what are my opportunities? And what are my threats? Because threats are found at the moment. You are still shielded. A lot of banks have laid off a lot of people. A lot of people. And before they used to say, oh, this bank has laid off 2,000 people. This bank, MTN, where are we in August? They are taking their customer service to India. Yes. Because the cost of doing business in Nigeria. The thing is, it's not because India has a lot of people like we do in Nigeria. It's not the people, but it's the cost of doing business that has affected. When I heard about 3 or 4 months ago, I said, what the heck? What are we doing? India. So you read from Nigeria, it's an Indian. They used to do it in England. When you ring your they answer it, and then you ask them, yeah, how's the weather? How's the weather in England? So we'll ring from Nigeria, and somebody will say, how's the weather? I want to do this. So quickly write 2 of your strengths, write 2 of your weaknesses, 2 of your opportunities, and 2 of your threats. Try and do that. Those are the things. Yes, SWOT. Should I define SWOT for you? I'm sure you know it. Just in case. Never know. It's just one person. Amen. Because of hunger. Should I just go to work? That's like 2 each. 2 each. Are you okay, Abuja? We lost it. Yes, ma'am. Okay. Well done. Sorry. I guess that you're there from time to time. Photo coach? Collins, you okay? Yeah. Right. What are opportunities for you? Personally, what are opportunities? The internet. That platform can propel anybody to anywhere. More new apps, new ideas. If you check the richest list, fourth richest list, most of them now is because of the internet. An idea that they have had for a while, and they have just want to use the internet to bring it to the level of people that it would ordinarily not have got to. 5 years ago, a lot of people never used to listen to all this music that we are listening to now. MI, Tuesdays, the band. You know, it was more American. Now, everybody's listening to homegrown music. So that's how it should be. The internet has taken some. I was watching South African. Their music has gone global, has gone viral. Beyonce in her video Who Rules the World saw 2 guys dancing in Namibia. Is it Namibia or Congo? And told them to go and look for those 2 guys. She learned the dance. She said when the guys saw Beyonce, she asked them, do they know who she is? They said they don't know who she is. 2 dancers in an impoverished African nation. And she said they should look for them. And they went looking for them. And when they found it, she said, when she was talking, she was crying. She said they loved what they were doing. They were not in it for the money, but you could see passion. And that's what the internet does. That opportunity every day. There's a guy, the top DJ in South Africa, only has 1 hand. I wanted him to even come to Nigeria so that they can say that 1 hand is not reason for anybody. He has 1 hand. You know him. He uses it. You will just be using that 1 hand. This hand is there, but I don't think he said he had an accident when he was 6. He gets millions. one hand to just, and now they've invited him all over the place. How did that happen? The internet, which is the generation that can make use of the internet. Your generation, opportunities, they abound. Why would an American be there? I went to a wedding in England. They didn't even play, all they were playing were, I don't know what was the name, M.I., I thought I was in Nigeria. And these are children and I knew that probably they only come to Nigeria 3 or 4 times in their life. And they were doing all the moves. I said, see, like, that's opportunities. What are the opportunities for you? Think about it. And threats. What are the threats? We cannot keep on going with this naira rate going on community. We cannot keep on going on the way this electricity is. I don't know about you. It spoils all this about gadgets, left, right, and center. Something that should be 5 years will be 2 years. You have to change it. Am I talking rubbish? Epileptic. You will have something, you just die on. Your iPad will just go. The loads of your cars are serious. So much you have to do that self-assessment. Okay? Right. See, feedback. Self-awareness is open to candid feedback, new perspective, continuous learning, and self-development. You must develop yourself more. Please write that self-development. Develop yourself. Please. You know what? You don't even have to pay for development. If I tell you how many books I download, when I see broadband free, you know in England it's free. Once I enter the thing with my kids for the 2 weeks that they are downloading. Because sometimes you download some other people. I buy books you download it. I buy books. I buy at least 4 e-books every month. But I read the ones I just read. You need to read. Readers are leaders. I'm sure I said it the last time. Please read. That's self-awareness. Able to show a sense of humor and perspective about yourself. Oh, it's almost lunchtime. Right. Self-motivation. Are you motivated yourself? Or do you need somebody's motivation? Are you motivated yourself? Because some people need somebody to push them. But you can't wait for that. Are you motivated? Because you see, title, I'm talking about emotional intelligence. I'm not just talking words. I'm talking about self-motivation, achievement, drive. I'll show you one thing. I want you to write the keywords to see that form. I hope I'm using it here. If I have, please just tell me. I want you to write the keywords to see. What are the keywords you wrote? Excellent. I really will put that when we're talking about emotional intelligence. Successful readers listen more and Yes, they will all right. They all come and carry them. For what I say, they encourage on trust. Trust. Without them, I would like to push trust. Where would I put trust? Respect and trust. Let me do it like that, please. Trust. Not talking about maturity, we're talking about trust. Come on, we find value. Yes, values, and we talked about those values earlier on. And that's why it's important to have your own values. At least 3 values that represent who you are. You find that those 3 values, when you write them, there will be values that they will use to describe you. Some of you are parents. Sometimes when they say a child did this, you say, no, this child didn't do this one, it's this one. Straight away, you are children. Sometimes they say to your parents, oh, this person did this. Say, I know. If you say this person did this one, I would agree, but this one can't do that. That's what values are. Values are important here. And you find that when you have your values, they are words that will immediately come up when they are actually describing who you are. Any other one? Take your risk. Sorry? Take your risk. Taking risk. We need to take risk. Honestly, without taking risk, one cannot move to the next level. That I'm learning about risk. It's hard. I'm not saying you don't feel the pinch, but the reward. I'm just reading Steve Jobs' autobiography when he left university. You know, sometimes a lot of us make excuses. We make excuses. Steve Jobs, when they gave birth to him, his grandfather, his father is a Syrian. His grandfather did not allow his mother to marry his father. He said, no, you will not marry. So when the woman was having the baby, she insisted that the people who were going to adopt him must be college, and they must have gone to college to adopt him. That she would not, but she was waiting, her father was ill, so she was waiting for him to die, so that before she signs the adoption papers, so that she could marry the Syrian. It was after the grandfather died, the adoption papers had been written over. Steve went to these jobs, and then she married his father, but he was rejected. There's no way you can write it. He was rejected. But when he was going to leave university, he said that he knew what he wanted to do. And that's why it's important to know what you want to do. He knew what he wanted to do. He said he knew he was taking a risk. But what has physically came out of the university, he did not physically leave the environment of the university. He started training, he started going to the courses that would help him in his journey of what he wanted to do. So it was not really freelance, no, sport, that's the word. He was sporting on courses that would help him eventually in what he would do. But it was a huge risk because his mother wanted him to go to college. He got the adoptive parents to sign a clause that they would send him to college. But that college he never went to. He went and he came out. See, so in life, sometimes you have to have goals that you aspire. And everybody will say it may not work. But you, the owner of the dream and the goal, you know that it's going to work. Because it's something different here. So that's what let's go to lunch. How many minutes is lunch? 30 minutes. 30 minutes, and then we'll come back and try.
Thank you for watching. Don't forget to like us. GJAMES Associates. Value to your life. Value to your business.